So the other day we do the Late Kick Extra podcast, and we had so many good questions. I mean, there are dozens of them I still didn't get to yet. But this question is from Jay. I wanted to hit it tonight. He said, do you see teams in the SEC East, Georgia withstanding, start to buy in more like we see in the West? It seems like most programs have got their best fit at head coach, and they just need the higher-ups to say yes more. It's an interesting observation. I was talking to an administrative type the other day. We were talking about Auburn, and he said, you know, they were kind of talking about the plight of Auburn, how hard that job is, yada, yada, yada. And he said, do you realize that if you were to just take a poll of every SEC fan base, not just in the East, think about the entire SEC, think about how crazy this is. If you took a poll from every fan base in the SEC right now, you would have well over a 60% approval rating for every head coach not named Brian Harsin. Everybody is, to varying degrees, satisfied. A lot of them are new. So Shane Beamer's new, Billy Napier's brand new, Josh Heupel, second year in. But the thing about Heupel, the thing about Shane Beamer, they gave their fan bases a lot to be excited about in year one. Billy Napier has not even conducted a spring practice himself. He's given Florida fans a lot to be excited about. You know, Mark Stoops is probably one of the highest approval ratings this side of Nick Saban and Kirby Smart in all the SEC. So my answer is, yeah, like relatively speaking, there seems to be progress being made there. And certainly, like, I don't think there is necessarily an investment issue. I don't think that. I think maybe there have been hiring issues in the past. I think maybe there have been decision-making issues in the past. I haven't looked at Tennessee football or even South Carolina football and said they're not beating Georgia because they refuse to spend money necessary to keep up. I haven't said that. I may have said it about Florida a time or 10, and it was right. But if you've looked at the headlines since Billy Napier got into Gainesville, the first things he started to address were pretty basic things: nutrition, player housing, had to take care of that dastardly parking ticket situation down there. He has won the masses over by providing shelter and providing food and making sure that you don't have to check your windshield wiper if you've been parked somewhere for 20 minutes. Point being, if I'm looking around the SEC East, like where is the biggest rub from fan base to coach? Would it be in Missouri? Is that where it would be? Would it be Eli Drinkwitz? I think everyone is, to varying degrees, happy right now. But now we enter second seasons for guys like Josh Heupel, guys like Shane Beamer, and it's pivotal because, see, at South Carolina, they just did what would indicate to you they need to do to take a quantum leap forward. They landed a premier quarterback name out of the transfer portal. That's great. But there's not a downside, but there is a B-side to that. I'm told back in the day they used to sell something called a record, and they had an A-side and a B-side. Well, on the B-side is like the follow-up. So you land guys out of the transfer portal, like Spencer Rattler, and everyone celebrates. Then you flip it over, and the B-side is, okay, but kind of need to win this fall. So we got to wait on that. Josh Heupel, in year one, everyone was and should be very excited about what they saw out of Josh Heupel in what looked to be a no-win situation. And they won 7 games, and they were inches away a couple of times from winning a couple of more. Hendon Hooker is not on any Heisman preseason watch list, which I kind of find fascinating. I don't think it would be the most crazy thing in the world to see a Josh Heupel quarterback come out of nowhere. I mean, Kenny Pickett did it last year. So I'm telling you, Hendon Hooker in Tennessee could do it. I feel the same way about Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, by the way. Yeah, year 2 is going to be not a make or break by any stretch, but the answer to this question will be a lot more emphatic at the end of this upcoming season than it is right now. Good question, though. Think about that. Like every SEC program outside of Auburn, 13 of 14, to varying degrees, happy with their situation right now. You know that means there is a complete and utter disaster that's going to unfold over the next 2 or 3 years, because that can't last. There aren't enough wins to go around. So this thing's going to be a mushroom cloud in a couple of years. Enjoy the smiley faces while you can.